people. Welcome. And this is actually a post recording for episode 14 of Definitely To Me. Things went south very quickly on Sunday. So we're gonna continue. Let's just, continue and carry on. So and you know, the hottest designs before the world discovered, right? That's what we're talking today. We're talking African fashion at its best. And I wanted to, um, talk about Met Gala. Yes, Met Gala. So, you know, everyone was talking about Met Gala. And I wanted to also touch base about, you know, everything that we've done so far. So before I cover this episode, we usually talk about travel on this channel, especially definitely hot tea on Sundays. But today we're shifting back into the world of lifestyle, which is basically Africa and fashion. So we want to call it, um, Africa fashion. Let's leave it at that. So, because we've covered tourism, we've covered hospitality and, boutique lodges and etc. etc. Um, and I wanted to cover because when I looked at the Met Gala, I was like, and then I looked at, um, your uh, Nigeria. Sorry, I had to hesitate there. But the Nigerian design, fashion design this year was just chef's kiss. So, and then we look at the Met Gala. And I kind of paused when I looked at that, like, and they happened so close to each other. I think it was last month. So this is why I'm very happy to introduce Fashion Hot Tea, the hottest African designs in the world, basically. So this series is about that. It's much more about fashion. It's also a lot about innovation, sustainability, culture, and entrepreneurship, and remarkable people that are quietly transforming our communities across Africa through designs. So let's grab our tea. We're just gonna grab our tea for this week, this hot Monday. At least in the UK, it's hot. So, as I said, the world follows trends, right? And yet they forget about Africa. So when we looked at the Met Gala, as I said, it dominates the fashion world. So millions of people watch live streams, social media explodes with conversations about celebrities, outfits. Fashion magazine, they spend weeks analyzing every look. For days, everyone is asking the same question: who are you wearing? But today, like I said, I wanted to ask a different question: who's designing the future of fashion? Because while the world is watching one red carpet or green carpet, is in this case, something extraordinary is happening in Africa, specifically Lagos. Like I said, I watched Fashion Week, Lagos Fashion Week, and I was just gobsmacked, right? I was just eating it all up, like every outfit, the, they're doing it out there. They're really doing it, and they're doing it very exceptionally well. So, showcasing more than 60 designers, and they welcome about 15,000 guests. It might be more. And this is basically the Lagos Fashion Week. So, you've got people crossing the continent to come to one place. So, and this is about 30 African countries. And we have some that are also hosting the fashion weeks. I know South Africa is one of them. And Africa's fashion industry is expected to be worth almost $47 billion. $47 billion. dollars. That sink in a few years, right? Yet many of designers leading the transformation remain unknown outside the continent. So today we're changing that. We're looking into a different perspective. Yeah. So I'd say to you, welcome to Legos, right? So it's a city known for its energy, and I've got one of the faces here. Its resilience, its creativity. Hidden within this vibrant city is a designer quietly challenging one of fashion's biggest problems. This is Florentina Agu, and there she is, founder of a Hertunba. While fast fashion continues to create enormous amounts of textile waste, Florentina is proving there's another way she could transform recycled and vintage fabrics into timeless luxury fashion. Every collection rather tells a story. Almost every fabric finds a second life. Nothing is treated as disposable. But what impressed me most wasn't simply the clothing, it was the impact. So Hertunba works alongside local artisans, supporting traditional craftsmanship, creating jobs, and empowering women through education initiatives. So this isn't just a sustainable fashion; it's sustainable opportunity. So I wanted to show you pieces here. These are just stunning pieces that I thought I could show you. And I was looking for one that really struck me. This one right here. I know that I'm looking so forward to. The girl she's doing the mostest. Okay, so yes, here's to you, sis. Yes to you, sis. So yeah, I'm so looking forward to owning a piece of her work. So yeah, and then let's move on to another trailblazer. And we're going to Ethiopia this time around. So, more than 4,000 kilometers away, another young woman is, changing perspectives of African design. Yes, sir. Meet Danawit Alema. And I'm sorry if I'm chopping up your name. So, she's the founder of DANN, DANN. So Danawit launched her brand with one clear vision to prove African fashion doesn't need permission to lead. So, inspired by Ethiopian heritage and contemporary streetwear, she creates, collections that celebrate identity while embracing responsible production. But her mission extends beyond runway. She mentors young creatives, support local manufacturing, and encourages, African entrepreneurs to believe that global brands can be built right here at home. So she's not simply designing clothes; she's really designing confidence. And these are both young ladies. So at first glance, these two young ladies design different styles, right? Live in a different countries, serve different customers, but they are sharing something powerful: purpose. So both are reducing waste, creating empowerment, supporting artisans, protecting centuries of craftsmanship, and provide that sustainability isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. They are showing the world that, Africa isn't just participating in fashion. Africa is helping redefining it, you know. So the world has looked to Africa for decades for raw materials. As you know, I was wearing my Ankara on Sunday, pity, but I'll add that outfit in here somewhere in the video. But my view is maybe it's time to look to Africa for ideas, because there's the next global fashion icon may not emerge out there in Africa, that may not emerge in Paris or Milan or New York. There's someone in Africa. She might already be working from a studio in Lagos, who knows, or designing her next collection in Addis Ababa, quietly changing fashion one stitch at a time. So I'm looking forward to that. So, guys, that was our journey through Africa. And I'm looking so forward and this is a series. So we're gonna shift away from tourism for a minute, and we're going to, try to explore the continent Africa, and the opportunities that are out there for women, And I like the fact that we will, you know, go into this journey together. I am so excited. As I said, for me, it's all about exploring what's out there in the continent with you, my people. But please don't forget to like, subscribe, because you might have done it, you might have forgotten. So I'll appreciate your support and share this story, because these are, exactly the kind of voices that deserve to be heard. So next week, we'll discover another African designer quietly changing the world. Until then, I'm Tumi. This has been Fashion Hot Tea, where the world follows trends and we discover them first. See you in the next episode. I love you for watching. Thank you. Take care, my people.